like content and sequencing, format and presentation, monitoring and assessment have got bigger role in the plan or in the process of language curriculum design, and it's considered very important in terms of looking at how the course is progressing. Well, before we discuss the contents of this module, I would just like you to pause the video for a while and think about the questions listed here. What do you understand by these two terms? I mean, monitoring and assessment, because we have already, discussed these two terms at greater length in some of our previous modules in the course. Secondly, why does monitoring play a bigger role as compared to assessment? Thirdly, what purposes can assessment or the notion of assessment could be used? You could pause the video for a while and think and see how you could relate your information with the information taking place in this module. Well, monitoring and assessment has got its strong relevance to the domain of language teaching, because it allows the teachers to carefully plan what they're gonna actually, how they're gonna do in the classroom, how the activities are progressing, and what learners are learning, and what steps could be taken to improve their language teaching practice. Right. So the reason why, as the question raised in the beginning, the reason why monitoring is considered all the more important than assessment, because it's a part of the teacher on daily basis, because the teacher, she's looking at her students on daily basis, she's overseeing them, and she's carefully planning the activities, meeting the needs of the students according to their demands or their requirements. So this is how monitoring, for example, if you are teaching students for English for specific purposes, so you would be monitoring your student, and you would be coming to know, gathering information, how they are doing and what they are not doing, whether they need group work practice or pair work or individual language learning in the classroom. So on the other hand, assessment could be used to encourage learning. There are two types of assessments, formative and summative. Formative is all about giving constructive feedback to help learners improve, to find out the gaps between their current performance and the desired performance. So and it could be used to find out areas of difficulties. I mean, the areas where students could be facing some problems, right? And it could be used to assess the proficiency levels of the students, which is summative assessment, to give the final mark or give final judgment whether the students have passed the course or module or not, right? Like content and sequencing, format and presentation, we as language teachers, we as professionals might come across these questions, and you might not be surprised, because these are tiny questions, but these are very important in order to realize the effectiveness of monitoring for language teaching. Is this activity going well? Or all learners or students participating in the task? Very important one. If not, what could be done? Are some doing more work than others? Very important. So no one is lagging behind than other students. Have they learned anything from this activity? Good question. So we could make some key decisions about the improvement of our language teaching practice. Should I give them a test to encourage them keep on learning? Sometimes testing could take place even during the course, and its main purpose is to understand how learners are learning, or just to give some feedback, so they are they could be motivated, infused with motivation to keep on learning. So in brief, monitoring and assessment has got its strong significance for the field of language teaching, and we can use monitoring and assessment to improve our pedagogical practice in the classroom. And from my own personal perspective, I find monitoring and assessment very important because it allows me to see my students how well they are doing, how my language teaching practice could be improved or made better.